everybody. My name is Doug Uhlenbrock. This is Barb Filer. I'm the director of events. She's the events manager, and we're here to talk to you today about our upcoming convention in Perry, Georgia, March 10th through 13th. We're excited about it. We're working our butts off right now to get things ready to go. I hope you guys are excited. We've had over 800. We're right around 800 registrants so far, and that started a week ago. We had our opening day. We had some registrations before that for our folks who had letters of credit from Tucson, but registration is going really good, and we are super excited. And I know everybody's ready to go and ready to get back out there. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I do want to say before we get started, if anyone is on here and hasn't registered yet, our super early bird deadline is next Wednesday, or no, I'm sorry, next Tuesday. At the end of the day, the next day on Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we'll do our super early bird drawing for one person to get a free registration. So if you're thinking about registering, make sure you get it done before then. Obviously, our registration will continue after that. Our early bird ends the 13th of January. I believe that's the right date, isn't it?
Correct.
So we have up until then, and then we will take registrations all the way up through the start of the convention. So I know there's a lot of people, and we'll get into this a little bit more, who are perhaps hesitant to sign up now with COVID and all the other stuff going on. If that's the case, just hold off. You don't have to rush in and get registered now. So if you're interested in coming but just not sure, wait it out and see what happens. And we want you to be comfortable. We want you to be sure you want to be there. We are going to do some things, and we'll talk about here in a minute at the show to make sure everybody's safe and comfortable while they're there. So we want you to be safe. We want you to be comfortable while you're there. We want you to have a great time. I mean, that's the idea. When you come there, we want you to have fun, make it a great experience for yourself and for whoever comes with you. We do have a number of questions that we received from folks over the last day. We're going to get into those, plus ask, we have some other things that we've been getting asked about. So we want to bring those to light as well, and talk about some of the things that folks are saying to us while they register, or after or before they're registering. So let's go ahead and get started. Barb, you have some questions for me. Go ahead and fire away.
Well, the big question, because we've all been through it this year, is if the convention gets canceled because of COVID, will the registration fees be refunded? And this was from Greg.
Greg, and anybody else, I know this is a big question. Tucson, when we had to cancel that a week before we were supposed to open, you wouldn't believe how difficult that was for us and for all the folks who were registered there. And it wasn't a good situation for anybody. We had people already showing up in Tucson when we end up canceling it. So it certainly wasn't something we wanted to do. We pushed it all the way to the end, and that the timing and a lot of things around the world conspired against us, and we shut it down. What we have established, and it's on the registration form, and if you see it, in a number of different places, if FMCA cancels the convention, we will be refunding in the form of a letter of credit for a future convention. For Tucson, it was 3 years, and we'll probably have the same here. We'll have 3 years where we will honor that letter of credit for wherever convention you want to go to. The pricing will be, for you, will stay the same. If we raise prices for our registration or electric or anything, it will not affect you. You will get whatever service it is that you requested and paid for to go to Perry. I know, there'll be questions about that. We can certainly answer them. I'm hoping we don't have to do this, but we are at least a little bit more prepared for something like this now than what we were in Tucson. Tucson was the first time we ever had to cancel an event like this. And we've done over 100 of these, and we get to 101 and that happens. So obviously not a great situation. We've learned a lot from it. We're more prepared now to handle it than we were back in March of earlier this year.
On the sort of the same topic, as I have a letter of credit from the canceled Tucson convention, how can I apply that to the Perry registration?
Jeff, it's very easy. We actually, a few weeks ago, probably about a month ago, we started sending out some emails to folks who had the letters of credit, encouraging them to sign up early if they chose to. And we had a good number of people do that. You can still use a letter of credit now. All you have to do is give us a call, 800-543-3622. Tell us you have a letter of credit and you'd like to register. We'll take your registration. We'll take the code off your letter of credit and apply it to your registration. And unless you order something else or upgrade, you're good to go. That's the whole payment process right there. We try to make it very simple. I wish we could maybe perhaps in the future we'll be able to let you register online using the letters of credit. But at the moment, you do have to call. We'll register online and then get your letter of credit and apply it, and it'll be good to go.
Nancy is the chairperson for the Volunteers for Coffee. The Challengers chapter is going to help us out. She's concerned about the increased numbers of COVID and that she's having trouble getting volunteers, and how will the coffee and donuts work and that type of thing.
Well, we're going to be working with our caterer for a lot of the different things, and we'll probably be getting with the caterer for the coffee and donuts. We are going to do coffee and donuts. That is something that we do plan to do still. Anything could happen between now and March. It's a guess from me and a guess from pretty much everyone as to what's going to happen. Our plan is to do coffee and donuts. We'll be working with our caterer to see the best way for us to do that. We obviously will not be handing out or letting folks get their own coffee. We'll be taking care of that for them. The same with the donuts. How we present that is something that we're going to be working on, but we are going to do it. So, we encourage your chapter to continue looking at helping out. Like I said, as of right now, we're planning on doing it. Until something happens to tell us differently, our plans are to go forward with this.
But thank you guys for volunteering, because it is difficult to do these things without you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'd like to go to the convention, but I'm worried it will be canceled. Can I reserve a spot with a deposit in case it's canceled? Or is it better to wait until later to register? You sort of addressed that.
We did. One of the things that we do have is we have our partial payment right now. So you can call or register online and only pay half up front and then pay the rest. We would do that January 11th is when we're going to take the second half of that payment. So if you choose to do that, you can do that. Or, if you're really questioning it, I would say just hang on and wait till later to register. I certainly, understand, and if you're unsure, just wait. You can register all the way up until the day we start the thing. So there is no absolute hurry for you to do it. We would like to have the numbers pretty close so we know what we're going to have when we get there. But if there are questions, just go ahead and wait. And I know when we did a survey, a couple months ago, one of the questions was, when are you going to make your decision? And quite a few people indicated that they weren't going to decide until after the first of the year. So it's understandable, and we will make it work however we can. Best for the folks who are registering now and who might register later on.
Let's see. Have you noticed that vendors are timid or excited to take part in the in-person events?
We have actually had a couple meetings with our vendors, and we've talked to quite a few on the phone, and they are very excited. And one of the things that has really hurt a lot of our vendors, and we have a number of big companies who are exhibitors, but we also have a lot of folks who this is their livelihood, and for the past close to a year they've been, for lack of a better word, out of business. They are looking forward to getting back to the folks, both financially and because they have in their life established a lot of relationships with RVers, a lot of folks who come to the FMCA conventions. So they want to get back just as much as many of our members want to get back to getting out and getting back together with people and doing the things that they enjoy.
I guess along that topic, Doug, is we've been planning this for so long. What are we planning to do to protect the people from getting COVID-19? That's from Robert.
Well, this has been something that Barb and I have sat in on a number of webinars from different groups who host large events. We've also looked at different things from our Hail Expo does our decorating and does a lot of our setup work. So we've talked to them as well in collaboration with trying to put together some good ideas. On the exhibit side, well, let me go back and start from the very beginning. We are going to require the wearing of masks in any buildings and during any large activities that we have. It's the right thing to do, and if you don't want to wear a mask, I suggest you just don't come. We are going to enforce it strictly, and I know there are some people who don't agree with it. I think it's something though that you have to understand. We are going to do this for the protection of everyone involved, not only the person wearing the mask, but the person on the other side of the mask. So that is going to be a big deal. We are going to enforce it, and we're going to expect our members to do it. We're not trying to be mean. Don't take it as we're trying to punish people or be mean about it, but we want to protect people, and this is our first line of defense for everyone, is to wear that mask. You see me and Barb, we're wearing the mask. Everybody here in the office is wearing the mask. If you go out to a restaurant or store, you're going to see people wearing masks. So this is something that's going to happen. Now, on the exhibitor side, we are going to have our exhibit halls are going to be wider aisles. We're taking those up to 12 feet and wider. Usually we were at 8 to 10 feet, so we're adding an additional 2 to 4 feet of aisle space, and we're making all the aisles one way. We will have it set up so there will be separate entries and exits, and we'll have multiple entries and exits. So you won't have to snake all the way through the seminar hall to get from one end to the other. You can enter at different points, but we are going to have everybody going one way. We're going to, while we're in there, we're going to ask folks to social distance as you would if you were at the grocery store or other places like that. We're going to ask, that folks don't gather in large groups to have chats and things like that. Keep your distance. If you're in a group, keep 6 feet away. Talk to each other that way. At our seminar areas, our entertainment areas, we are going to be creating little pods of 2 chairs. So in each room, you'll have 2 chairs together and then a space around of 6 feet. And that's the way we will, kind of set up all our areas. It's going to add, obviously it's going to cut down on the number of chairs and of seats in the room. It's going to make our rooms a lot bigger. So, folks who are sitting in the back are going to be farther back than they might have normally. But, it's a situation where we're going to do the things that we need to do to make sure that, everyone's safe. We're going to ask our attendees, don't move the chairs around. Please leave them where they are. They're there for a reason. Don't, pull 4 or 5 together. That's not the intent. The intent is to keep everybody separated. We're putting 2 together because, if you're going to come with your spouse or partner or guest or whoever it might be, that you can sit together. If you're coming by yourself, you're probably going to sit and have a seat next to you that's wide open. We are relying, we can put all these things in place, and we're going to probably add some more before we're done here as we figure out more ways to make this safe. But we have to rely on everyone in attendance to kind of do this. We're not, if we're going to make this work, everybody has to make it work. We can't have people just deciding that they're not part of the process. Everyone has to be agreeable to it and in with it. And if we can't get that out of folks, we're going to talk to you and either convince you to do it or ask you to leave. And I hate to do that, and I don't want to do it, but if we have issues, that's where we're going to go with it. We're not going to fool around with this convention. this is a big deal because this is going to be, you know, a watershed moment. If we can do this right, then, you know, we can continue on. If we can't do this, I'm not sure if we can do Gillette. So we have to make this happen. We have to do it right this time. And we're going to be asking our attendees to be on board with it.
And if you have ideas or suggestions or ways you can all help and we can work together, please get them to us.
Yeah, and I also want to say we'll have all the restrooms will be open with hand washing areas. We'll have sanitizer stands throughout the venue. We'll have hand washing areas. So we're going to put all that stuff out there. We need you guys to use it. We need to make sure that, you know, we are all safe. You know, I'm going to have my staff there. We want to stay safe too, and we're going to be wearing our masks all the time. And you're not going to see us running around without them. And we're not going to, you know, have our advanced crew and those folks. They're going to all be doing it too. So, you know, understand that this is going to be for everybody. It's not just for the few. It's for everyone who is going to be there in Perry.
One of our favorite vendors, Chris Lawrence, said, I'm a vendor. I'm excited. Back on that topic. Mr. Fines, he said he can't join us, but this will be recorded for future. So if you get on there, it'd be great. Bill, I'm the admin of the Facebook RVing group with 7,000 members. A number of the people have said they want to be camping near me in Perry. How do we arrange that? Many have already paid. You are a popular guy.
Bill, it's actually very easy. And it's really going to depend on it. You know, what kind of parking do you have? And they have to have the same type of parking you do. If you have 30 amp electric and they all have 30 amp electric, all you have to do is meet up at the same place over in the holding area or somewhere outside and caravan in. It's up to you. I mean, the one thing we ask is you all have the same parking type and you all are in the holding area at the same time when it's time to get parked. We can't save spaces, but if you all meet in the holding area at a certain time and you let the parking team know, okay, everybody's here, we're ready to get parked, they'll park you and you'll all be together.
Mr. Flowers, too, if the group's over 10, you should probably be nice if you pre-arranged a caravan and we could set up a time so we can expect you. That's very helpful also. And you just call into the office. We'll get one for you, get together for you. Can we ride bikes at the event?
Absolutely, yes. If you have a bike and we encourage folks to ride bikes. It's probably the easiest, most convenient way for you to get yourself around. We obviously will have golf cart transportation. We'll have bus transportation. In the past, we've had the pull behind trams. We're going to kind of get away from those a little bit and have some buses. The trams have been, you know, difficult to ride for folks if it's raining or cold. It's not a nice trip. So we're going to have buses there, you know, to get folks around, and it'll be at least a little bit more comfortable ride. Won't be as bumpy as riding those pull behind trams.
How do I change my registration if I'd like to come in with the group? I'm so excited to head back to Perry. Judy.
That's kind of touching on what we just talked about a second ago. If you are going to come in with somebody else, you have to have the same type of parking they have. So, you know, if they are a family member and they have 30 amp, then you need to be a family member with 30 amp. Find out when they're coming in, meet them in the holding area, and you'll all be parked together. If they are doing a caravan, you know, find out what they're doing as far as a caravan and come in with them then, or meet them wherever they're meeting for their caravan, whether it's, you know, outside of town or something like that, and then coming in. If you're all just meeting at a certain time, you know, say 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon to get parked, then, you know, you just go to pull in, hang out in the holding area till your group's there, and then you'll be parked.
Nancy's with our challengers in the coffee break wants to know if there's a special area that they'll be parked together, which we normally do, the coffee group.
Yeah, we will have, you know, for our coffee folks, for our frustrated maestros, we will be having you parked in areas close to where the coffee hour will be. We've done tents the last 2 years. we've gone away from the tents this year, a little bit because of COVID, a little bit because of other reasons. And we're going to be doing it in the sheep barn, which we've done it in the past there. So you guys will be parked up around that area, very similar to where you've parked in the past. So you're close to where you'll be working in the mornings, and you won't have to worry about riding in, at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, trying to find a ride or walk in. You'll be parked real close to right where you're working.
And Nancy, your day of arrival will be on March 8th, so it might be good if you just kind of keep us in the know of how many will be joining us, so we can kind of mark out the spots and work that space out for you guys.
Yeah, we'll be in touch. Whoever is your captain, whether it's you, I'm not. Is it?
Yeah, well, I think it's her.
Is it Nancy? Yeah, we'll be getting in touch with you to find out who you all have coming. We'll compare it with our roster of volunteers and figure out what everybody's doing as far as electric, non-electric, that type of thing.
We give your folks a special coffee cup insignia if we know who they are in advance, so you can be identified. Mr. Flower says, thank you. Looks like everyone is 50 amp electric. Trying to organize might be like herding cats. That's what I'm thinking. But it would be fun to see a long line of Tiffins coming in as a caravan. I see there's a lot of Tiffins registered. At least I took a lot. So yeah, this will be a fun show. I'd love watching that. Will there be a dump station?
We actually have a dump station, and I think we're trying to create a second dump station, and we'll have that in our information. There is fresh water, so you will be able to dump yourself and get fresh water. We also will have septic service there, who can provide a dump and water. I think each of those are going to be $25 a piece if you're not interested in moving your RV while you're there. And we don't encourage you moving your RV when you are there and parked. But when you're ready to leave, if you want to go dump, you can certainly do that. We have the one that is on the east side of Horse Barn 1, and that's their kind of input. It's their planned one. We also have the ability to open up another one on a space. It's actually a parking space that we cannot use, but we can use as a dump station. So we're going to work on that, and we'll have that information in your program and in some of the other places where we have that type of information.
I want to get with Nancy real quick. Yes, Nancy, she wanted to know if coffee is going to arrive on the 8th. Yes, you'll arrive on the 8th, and then your meeting's on the 9th at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning.
Why don't we just go ahead and talk about that anyway? Yeah. Our volunteers, we will bring them in at different times. Our parking team is going to be coming in on the 5th, so they can start getting things together. Then our other volunteers will have security, activity carts, and trams come in on the 7th, and your meeting will be on the 8th, and you'll start working the next day, or someone will start working that day. On the 8th of March, we'll be bringing in our seminars, our coffee hour, our information, and our FMCA store volunteers. And you'll have your meeting on the 9th in different places. Our meetings are going to be all in McGill Marketplace, except for the store, and the store will be at the store. Our ice cream and our fun and games people, they'll just come in on the 8th or whatever day they are supposed to come in. I know we do have on the night of the 9th, we'll have a card bingo, I believe, and I'm not sure if we have anything else scheduled. So our fun and games folks will get to work that night doing those types of things. And we'll have a lot more information, but just for those who are interested in volunteering, that's when you will be expected to show up and when your meetings will be.
And Mr. Akers says, are you still having volunteer golf cart drivers? Heck yeah. Yep,
we absolutely are. If you're interested, if you've already registered and you want to sign up as a volunteer, give us a call and we can send us an email at convention@fmca.com and we can get you added, or you can give us a call and we can get you added as well. If you haven't registered, just make sure you do so. When you do register, just make that selection for yourself and or tell whoever it is on the phone that you'd like to do so.
And again, golf carts arrive on the 7th.
7th, right.
Okay. Will we be limiting the number of rigs? Oh God, if we only had that problem.
We unless we get to like 3,000, the answer is no. Perry has a lot of space that we haven't used the past few years, and we've been up to 2,800, and we still had large areas open. This is a big place, and they have a lot of open fields that we can park folks in. So I can't imagine that we will get to the point where that will happen, but I'm hoping one day maybe we do have that as a problem. But I don't see that coming anytime in the immediate future.
Will you have a leash-free dog park?
We will. We established a dog park, I think, for the first time in Perry in 2018. Basically, what we've done is we've found some area that we could fence off. It's a nice grassy area, and that is also on the east side of Horse Barn 1, I believe. And you can bring your dog there, let them run around, and they have a great time for a little bit. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a huge dog park, but it's a good size area that we're setting aside and using. And it's worked out very well. It's been very well received by those who have been there the last few conventions and have used it.
I heard, I heard 50 amps sold out.
50 amp is not sold out. 50 amp full hookup is sold out, and we only had about 80 to start with. So those went very quickly. We still have a few 30 amp full hookups available, and we have, just so you know, the way we do the 50 amp and the 30 amp electric is we work with Hale Expo, and they have an electrical division that we work with, and they lay out as much electric as we tell them we need. So if I need 1,000 30 amp plugs and 1,000 50 amp plugs, they'll put down that number for me. I just need to know what it is, and I need to be able to tell them a couple weeks ahead of time, this is what we're looking at. Once we get on site and he lays it out, it's hard to add more. But if I tell him ahead of time, this is what we need, he'll put that in for us. So, that's why we encourage folks to get in, get registered. If you're registering or you're coming in at the last minute and asking for certain things, then it gets a little tricky because we only have so much put down. And whether we have any or not, then it gets a little iffy. But if you register ahead of time, you'll have a site.
Will there still be a children's program in Perry? Will there be? Not still.
No, actually, we haven't had the we haven't had the children's program in our winter conventions for quite a while, just because most kids are in school during that time. And actually, the last time we had it in the summer conventions, it was in Indianapolis a couple years ago. Unfortunately, the numbers just aren't there for us to support such a thing, and it's a shame. We used to have hundreds of kids come to the events, but now we have a handful. And to put together major outings and things like that is almost next to impossible, because you have to have so many to get a bus, and you have to have so many to get the group rate and all that kind of fun stuff. If there are folks who have kids coming and they have some ideas, I'm thrilled. I'd be thrilled to work with you to see what we can do, find a little space to do things. But as of right now, we don't have any organized activities. We don't have a volunteer group to handle that right now. Maybe in the future, we'll get back to that if we start seeing the need, but unfortunately, we just don't have the numbers of kids. We start seeing the kids, come back around, then we'll absolutely get back into it.
Oh, you're great. David also wanted to make sure that we would still be doing coffee and donuts. So, Miss Ragland, get those challengers together.
We are doing it. I know Barb talked with the folks down at Krispy Kreme, 2 days ago?
Yeah, they're in.
And, they said, just let us know what you need and we'll take care of you. So they've always been really good with us. They deliver it when we need it. I mean, we never had to call them up and figure out where the donuts are at. It's always there. So that's what our plans are for this year.
Sort of tongue-in-cheek, the question from Steve: any chance you can get the Canadian border open by March?
It is an unfortunate thing right now that we have a lot of our Canadian members, and it doesn't sound like they're even going to be able to snowbird this year. They're going to be stuck north of the border and not be able to make it south. And I wish there was something we could do. I think that's a little bit higher grade than FMCA is able to help out with. It's just a tough time. We're hoping, that they do open things back up soon, and you guys can get back to doing the things that you're used to doing. It's unfortunate, and I feel bad for you all.
Now I'm not sure, can we want to go into the information central?
No, what's your question?
We're getting with, where can I find RV parks?
Oh,
And
well,
maybe I can find some
and
other
there are
questions.
some, you know, I do want folks to know, on our website, we do have a bunch of information, and we'll talk about golf cart rental, and we'll talk about, you know, septic service and a lot of the other different things that happen during the event that you might need to know about. And on our website, if you click under our events tab, you'll see Information Central. And if you go to that, there are all kinds of little icons on there to help you figure out what you want to talk about or what you want to find out information. Click one of them and you'll find out, you know, where there are RV parks in the area around Perry, where there's, you know, what the septic service is going to be like, how much that's going to cost. You know, there's just a number of different things. Golf carts, how you can rent golf carts. Yeah, all kinds of different things. Click on there if you have questions, and if you can't get your question answered there, give us a buzz at convention@fmca.com. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
There's a volunteer icon on there. It tells all little brief descriptions, arrival dates. It's just a quick glance, answer your question. So use that. It's a great tool.
Yeah, there are folks who you know, they may be their first time coming to convention, and they're like, well, what does so-and-so volunteer do? There's a brief description in there, so you can go and check them out and see what it is that they actually do. What does a trans person do? What's a security person do? What does, you know, somebody who's working in info do? And, you know, as Barb said, it also will give you information about when you're supposed to arrive, when the meeting is, all that type of stuff. So we try to put that out there so, you know, you can make a good decision and you're not surprised when you show up.
There's a question by Hugh, is will there be camping sites available for motorhomes?
And yeah, I mean, that's what we do. Yeah. And as I mentioned before, we have our full hookup sites that the fairgrounds actually has in place. And then we create our own parking campground areas with the help of Hail Expo. And they lay down the lines, you plug in. Our parking team will park you, and they have different methods of doing that, how you go to park. So you're hitting the plugs in the right way. And you know, it's a very simple process. So yeah, I mean, we'll have hopefully over 2,000 RVs there in March. That's my hopes. You know, when we opened registration here, we didn't know what to expect. We really didn't, and I have been absolutely thrilled with the numbers that we've gotten so far. Kind of shows that, you know, folks want to get back out. They want to start doing something again, and they're interested in going to this convention. Perry's always been a great event for us, and I expect we'll be having a great event again. We've got some good entertainment, which we'll talk about either later today or another time. You can see that on our website. We're looking to add some other things that we haven't had in the past that hopefully I can talk about maybe the next time we're together. And we want this to be an exceptional show because everyone deserves an exceptional show after this past year. It's really been a tough year for everyone, and we want to make sure that this is a big deal event for everybody who shows up.
This may be a difficult question right now, but it says, do you have some predetermined criteria that would cause you to cancel a rally due to COVID?
Right now, I would say we will be looking at any kind of governmental, any kind of governmental declarations that says you can't do it. We are in contact with the folks down in Georgia, with their health department, with the folks at the fairgrounds, and we will be relying on a lot of theirs. You know, there's not a whole lot I can do if the government, whether it's the state, the federal government, whoever says you can't do something. And we'll follow their rules, we'll follow their edicts, and if it gets to be a point where they're saying stop, or, you know, there could be a situation where maybe they're not saying stop, but it is just so bad that there's no way we can go ahead, then, you know, we'll make that decision. You know, that's kind of what had to happen in Tucson. I'm hoping we don't have to go through that again, but, you know, as I mentioned earlier, you know, we're 4 months away from this, and we are not assured of anything. So, you know, we have to plan as if we're going to do it. We can't wait until February to decide we're going to do it and start planning. Then it's way too late. We have to plan now. So, we're going to, until somebody tells me different, we're having this convention March 7 through 10, or 10 through 13. It's 10 through 13. Gillette's 7 through 10.
Don't show up the 7th.
We're already working on Gillette, believe it or not.
Yeah, planning. This planning doesn't happen, like you said. We've started, the minute they announced we hit the books, so hit the ground running. Mr. White wants to know, will you have disabled RV parking this year?
Yeah, we do. We have a disabled parking every year. It will be north and northwest of Miller Murphy Howard, kind of right by our north gate area. It's all asphalt, so that's where those folks will be parking. If you have full hookup and you have disabled parking, we will get you into the disabled areas as close to the common areas as possible. It might not always be as close as you might like, but it will be probably closer than the handicap area on the asphalt. And we'll make sure we take care of anyone who's disabled and make sure they get a good spot. For our handicap areas, they are on asphalt. They're very close to Miller Murphy Howard and a lot of our other main entertainment and seminar areas.
Mandy's full of questions. He wants your mask. Doug, is that an FMCA mask you have on now?
Mandy, I'll make one just for you. It's a little piece of paper on my black mask.
But we're looking at some options. And he said, will the evening entertainment be inside or outside?
It'll be inside, same place we're doing it. We're going to have everybody spread out. We do have some great entertainers. We have our first night's going to be Jeff Allen. He's a humorist. You can probably look him up online and see some of his bits. They're pretty darn funny. Our Friday night's going to be Josh Turner. He was supposed to be in Tucson. He's agreed to play our Friday night event here in Perry. And then on Saturday night, we're going to have the Grapevine. They were entertained for us in 2018, had a great show, had people dancing. It was an incredible night. So we're bringing those folks back, and we're going to have a great time. And I'm still working on my Thursday night. Hopefully I can announce something on that, in the not too distant future.
Mr. Khan said, I've never attended an event. Do I need to register with you and the fairground?
Nope, you register with us. We take care of all of it. If you call the fairgrounds, they're going to tell you to call us. So just give us a call right off the bat. We'll take care of everything. We take care of the parking. We take care of all the directions to get you in. We have the people who park. So we take basically the fairgrounds. They take care of keeping the place clean. They have some security for us, but other than that, we take it over and we do it all.
What is the ladies' luncheon?
Ladies' luncheon will be on, I believe that's Thursday, right?
Yep.
Thursday at noon, and it used to be a ladies' tea. We used to do it on, I think, Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon. I can't remember what it was. But a few years ago, some of the ladies who have been in charge of doing this said, you know what, we want to do a luncheon. So we decided to go ahead and do this. It's a nice hour or so event where, all the ladies who signed up come in and sit down, and this will be a social distance thing. I think we have 4 people at a round table is the way we're going to do this. So it's going to be a lot of round tables in one room, but we're going to keep everybody socially distanced, put it up that way. No, there's a camera there.
Up there. Oh, I see. Sorry. I'll get this.
So that's kind of where we're looking at on our diagram right now. So you'll have lunch. It's not I wouldn't say it's a huge lunch. It's a nice lunch. And then we'll also have a speaker or some entertainment there as well. And it's been very well received in the past. Folks at Perry do a great job with their food service and their catering. So it should be a good event. It has in the past, and I expect this will as well.
A question from Mr. Connell about the shower houses. Will there be anything like that this time?
Yes, we do. We have showers in multiple buildings, and I believe that's one of the things that you'll find on that information central, and we'll also have that in our program and other things. Once we get into doing that.
Oh, hey Robin. What time should I show up on my arrival date? What about arriving early?
All right, when we will give you an arrival date. When you show up, we'll give you, whether it's the 7th, 8th, or 9th, we'll send you a card that says this is when we want you to show up. Once you get that card, you can show up between 8 and 5. That's when our parking team works. If you show up before, you'll just have to wait until they start to park, and then they'll park you. If you show up at 5 or after 5, while they may park you that night, more than likely you're going to have to sit in the holding area until the next morning, and then they'll park you. They don't work around the clock. I know some of them kind of act like they want to get everybody parked, and they'll stay up all night to do it, but they do work 8 to 5. So come in during any of that time, and they'll get you set up and they'll get you parked. If you choose to come in early, say your card says the 9th and you want to come in the 8th, you can come in on the 8th, and you have an option. You can either stay in the holding area and dry camp, or you can pay an additional $30 and get parked that day. It's up to you how you want to do that. We'll have our parking folks out there. We'll have our team of typically the ladies sit out there, and they work with folks who either need some help with their will call, or want to stay the extra night, or arrive early, and they'll take your money and give you a receipt.
Okay, so you have the $30. Okay, how do I sign up to have service done?
We will, during the event, we do have service providers come out with different companies that are exhibiting there, and there's a couple of different ways to do it. Some will, a couple weeks ahead of time, we'll send out an email for certain service providers who will allow early signups. That way you can sign up with them online or by phone ahead of the show, and then once you get there and they get there, they can start doing the work. We also will have on the first day, the morning of the first day, we'll have a service center where folks can go and sign up with the different companies to get service done. That lasts from, I think, 8 to 1, noon, 1 o'clock. And then at that point, those service providers, those companies will go back to their booths, and then you will sign up with service for them at their booths throughout the rest of the event.
How many rigs are already registered?
We have, as of this morning, we were about 760. So probably by the end of today, we'll be edging at 800. With about a quarter of them as first timers. We're probably around 200 first timers at this point. So really an outstanding first week or so of registration. And quite honestly, our first day was our biggest day ever. And mind you, I don't know how many of you folks know this. About a month ago, FMCA switched over our company management system. So we went into this not knowing if it was going to work, and it's worked out beautifully. Thank gosh. I mean, we were a little nervous about how it was all going to work, being it the first time, and it really has went well. We do have some hiccups on our registration end that I'm going to hope to talk about before we leave here. But for the most part, it's been really good.
How do we stay an extra night on Sunday? I think it's a web-driven thing.
No, we do have the information about that in our info central. You do that through the fairgrounds. They have a sign up, and you can go and find out how you do that. And if you have questions, let us know. We can get you hooked up with that.
It's on their website. I think it's a registration process on the web. I think that's how they reserve it. If attending the classes prior to the convention with our full hookup with 50 amp service available, will our full hookup with 50 amp service be available?
If you're coming for RV Basics, then you will be parked in your RV Basics site, and you will stay there the rest of the time. If you signed up for 50 amp full hookup, you will have 50 amp full hookup. If you're coming for the driving class, we do not hook you up until the classes are over. We're not going to have you hook up and then disconnect and everything and then go driving. So for our driving class folks, you'll show up, we'll dry camp you in an area close to where the classrooms are, close to where you're going to do your instruction. And then once you are completed with your classes, if you're doing driving, then you'll go to the holding area and you'll get parked from there.
Will golf cart rentals be available?
We will. And actually, we have a new company. The name of the company is Will and Dale, and they took over. Salopec had done golf carts for us for years, and they were a great partner of ours. And they decided that they were, going to retire and get out of the business. And Will and Dale took over their inventory, took over their contracts. So we're going to be working with those folks for the first time this year. We're real excited. They're excited. It's kind of a new venture for them. They're using some of the folks from Salopec still to help them out. So we're anxious to get that relationship started with those folks.
Want to quick go over the registration process since
we got any more questions here that we haven't answered?
No, not yet.
We're good. One of the things, as I mentioned, we changed our whole operating system, and which also meant we changed our registration process. And for folks who registered with us before, it probably was a little bit of a shock to you. And we did try and do a little explanation, a little bit of guidance on the first page. But, I'm sure, folks who are used to doing it one way, and this is kind of new to them. So, Mike, if you could put up our first page, and what you're going to do is, I can't even see that. You're gonna click what you're looking to do, and you're gonna want to go to the meeting, the Another Day in Paradise meeting, and once you get to the next page, then you'll see all the pricing. You'll see something that says please read before registering. And when I put that together, I really intended that people would read that before registering, and I hope you do. There's a lot of good instructions on there to help you get through the registration process. And I urge you, if you haven't registered yet and you do go online, please read this. It will help you get through. It will cause us less work. It will cause us not to have to call you or email you for additional information. One of the things we're finding, kind of two big things. In the past, when you registered, you would register yourself and kind of your partner, spouse would be registered with you. That is no longer the case. You will register yourself, fill out all your stuff, and then you will click, when you get to the guest page, guest. And that's where you will register your spouse or your partner or whoever you might be having with you. That's where you register. And if you have multiple, you'll register one person and you'll hit guest again, and you'll register the second person, and then you register the third, however many people you're going to have coming with you. So I want to make sure folks know that that's something you need to do. You need to hit guest and to register your spouse or your partner or whatever. Also, a lot of guys register and they are the person who's doing all the thing. So they'll go to their page and they will register for the ladies' luncheon. Guys, stop doing that. Register your wife for the ladies' luncheon and do it once you are registering her. Make sure you click guest, and when you're done with registering her, you're going to have an option to click other activities and what's it called? Services and activities. Click that, and that's where you can sign them up for volunteering, where you can click them or sign them up for ladies' luncheon and anything else that's in addition to just their registration. So, it is a little bit confusing. We're tweaking it, and we're finding out where the problem areas are. So we'll be making changes to it as we go forward to make it a lot easier for folks who are doing it for the first time, and for those who are just doing it, who've done it before, and those doing it the first time. So, it's something that we had, when we changed over this new system, we had to come up with a new way of doing it because, the other way that we were doing it was, something else, and now we're in a new system. So we're hoping, we can get this down. We can make it so it's really easy for everybody who's registering. The idea to register online is to do it quick, convenient, and very easy, so that you're not aggravated by the time you're done registering.
We're quite a unique beast and quite a challenge to these systems because we have so many parts and layers, and so be patient, and we're working through it too along with you. Mr. Flowers is back with, for entertainers, you should look to Cassie Joy, a country singer who was contestant on The Voice. Oh, she's traveling in her Tiffin doing concerts, different locations, as a member of my Facebook group.
Bill, why don't you send convention@fmca.com an email or some information about her. And, I'm not sure that, she'd be able to do it or whatever, but let us know about her and we will certainly, look into it.
So, and the question was how to register a co-pilot, which we just sort of review. Just a reminder, it's in two parts. You register the main person, carries the electric, and then the second person, you fill out their information. Talk about the difference between early bird and super early bird, which you kind of did it briefly in the beginning.
Yeah, the super early bird is kind of the area we're at right now. It's the 2-week period from the start until next, till this Tuesday, where we have registrations and we're going to do a drawing on Wednesday for one person to win free registration for the show. After that, we have the regular early bird will go until January 13th. At that point, we go to regular registration, which is an additional $20 on your overall registration. So, most folks want to get in on the early bird. So, if you want to do that by the 13th, after that, it'll be $20 more up until the time, we go to the show.
Okay, this is the big communication speech.
Okay.
It's so important. We're finding out with Tucson that folks, we're trying to talk, communicate through email to keep you updated, to tell you about refunds, and we're still getting calls saying, I never heard anything about it. And I know there's many reasons for that, but it's so important that you guys get connected with us, at least for convention, if nothing else. So there's one major thing we need is a monitored all the time email address, not one that, this is my wife's or my husband's, I never read that. We need the one that's on your registration, the one you're going to look at the whole time, and the other thing is don't block us, right? Is there's like a block where you can refuse emails coming from certain areas of FMCA. I know we inundate you with emails, but don't block us.
Yeah, it's very important, as Barb said, we communicate with everybody via email. We will send you all kinds of information about the show, about, if you have will call, if you have, when we need you to do this, how we're doing that, when we have our app out, when we have our digital program out, all that kind of stuff we send out via email. So please make sure that we have the email address that you will be looking at, and if you have us blocked in your profile, please go and unblock us at least through the duration of the event. If you don't want to hear from us after that, that's great. But if you're signed up, make sure that you can accept, and your email will accept our emails. That way, you are up to date, and we're making sure that everybody has the same information, and we don't have folks wondering, how come I didn't know this? We will be posting anything we send out that's very important on our email. We'll have in our app. We'll also have on our web page in our information central. We'll update that with a lot of the information as well. So, if you're in doubt, go check out those areas. But please, if nothing else, make sure we can get to you via email. It's very important. It's the one way the world is email driven, and you all get probably tons of emails. I know I do, and you don't like all that junk. But for this event, please leave it open. Let us communicate with you.
And the second important thing, especially as we get closer, is that we have a solid cell phone number. If we have to reach you for an emergency, if your kids are calling, trying to reach you, we have got to be able to find you on the grounds or while you're traveling or whatever. So please make sure we have a solid cell phone number. We also shoot out text. What do you call it? Easy text.
Right.
So that phone should be able to accept, last minute, we have a missing dog, we have a missing person, whatever. So you need to keep us able to connect with you.
And we also, we haven't talked about this, and we will talk about this more as we go into our other Facebook Live shows. We will have an event app. We've been doing this for the first couple of years, and it's been going really well. It's been growing in popularity, and we really want to push people towards this now. You're going to get in your welcome bag a program and 2 maps. that's all we're going to have. We're not going to have a whole lot of extra programs and maps laying around. So we're going to ask people to use that app. Another thing we're going to do this year that's going to be different for folks who have come to conventions in the past is we have in the past always had a locator card that you would receive and fill out, and then once you did that, you would get your welcome bags. Well, we're going to go and do away with that. We're going to take it electronic to keep people socially distanced. We're going to give you your bag when you show up. That way, you know, we don't have, we're lessening the connection times, the touch times that you're together with other folks. So we're gonna ask you, we're gonna provide a link and give you that link, and that way you can type in the information of where your location is, who you are, what your RV is, where your location is, what your phone number is, your email address. That way we have it on file. So if somebody does get in touch with us and we need to find you, we can do so. It'll be a lot easier than having the card that you had to, you know, try and find somebody or walk all the way over the info center to turn in or whatever. You'll get your bag early on. You'll have it right when you pull in, and it'll be a whole lot more convenient for those who are attending than that locator card was in the past. I've looked for ways to get rid of it, and you know what? COVID gave me the perfect excuse to get rid of it, and now it's gone. So we're gonna go forward with this. You know, having that little card is old technology. We've got things that we can do it better.
And our last question maybe is, Mr. Cotton didn't see anything about driving school or driving school, driving class.
Mr. Cotton, if you go on our website and click on the events tab, you'll see information about RV basics and RV driving. You can go to that. We have the folks at the RV driving school. They are the folks who run that. They do a terrific job. The Maylabens have worked with us the last few years on this, and they do an outstanding job with this. You can sign up for parking, sign up for backing, driving, or both. And you know they do a great job. The driving school, you will show up in the morning, you'll take your class in the afternoon, and then you'll drive the next day. The backing, you will show up the night before, and you'll do your backing class in the morning, and then your backing hands-on after that. So they figured out the schedule. It's smarter than me, because when they first showed it to me, I was like, what is this? They got it down, and they know how to do this. They're terrific instructors. Heard nothing but great things from folks who have taken the classes. So if that's something that you're interested in, let us know. The one thing we cannot do, and I'm trying to figure out how we can do this in the future, is we have to schedule you individually. So we can't do that online. We have to have you call to register. So if you're interested in doing it, give us a call, 800-543-3622, and we can get you signed up for the driving class. Even if you've already registered, we can add it. But you know, give us a call, and we'll certainly get you involved with those folks. They're great people, and I think you'll really see the difference in your driving. And if you're a first-time driver, you'll leave there feeling a heck of a lot more confident behind the wheel. There's no doubt about it.
Mr. McKay, he's Tucson attendee canceled, worried about, you know, he's out his money, you know, with the certificate, can't go to Perry. Mr. McKay, why don't you call us if it gets too complicated with, you know, what you're going to do in the future. But that certificate will be good for Gillette, and then when we're back in Tucson. So it's good for 3 years or until you can use it.
We'll be back in Tucson next spring. I believe the dates are the 23rd to the 26th, but don't quote me on that. But it's around that time. The end of March, we'll be going back to Tucson. They were thrilled to get back together with us. And, you know, we want to, you know, actually that year we're going to try and do 2020 over again. We're going to Tucson, then we're going back to Nebraska. So we're going to try and get it right this time in 2022 that we weren't able to get it done in 2020. So take a look at our website. It's got the dates for those future conventions on there. And if you do have a question, please give us a call about that, and we can work with you.
Yeah, we'll work with. Just call us if this is not in the cards for you. Just give us a call. We'll work with you. Is there a waiting list for 50 amp full hookup that I could be put on? I'm signed up and paid, but only 30 amp full. Yes, Sean, I'll put you on there.
I will warn you though that the list is getting really long, unfortunately. And you know, when we were in Tucson, they had over 350 amp pools and only 70 or 80 30 pools. Well, Perry's the opposite. They have 300 around 30 amp pools, but only about 80 50 amp pools. So it's kind of flipped that way, and it's unfortunate. I think they are going to be building some more sites down there. I'm not sure how many 50s are going to be involved with that, but hopefully by the time we go back in 2023, we'll have even more to offer.
You're welcome, Mr. McKay. Call anytime if you need us. You're welcome, Shauna. Calling you by your last names now. Wow, how we doing? Whew.
Well,
you guys are awesome. I love all these questions.
lot of great questions, and just so folks know, if you weren't able to get on today, or you have further questions, you could, like I've been mentioned a couple times, send it to convention@fmca.com. Look on the Info Central page, or we'll be doing, we'll actually be doing a couple more of these, before too long. We're going to do one in December. That's going to be on the 18th, 3 o'clock, and then another one on January 22nd. And I'm not sure if we have anything scheduled for February before we actually take off. If need be, if we see the need for it, maybe we'll get back together. But at this point, we have December 18th and January 22nd scheduled. Any of these, all these will be, they're all being recorded. They'll be put out on FMCA's page for you to click into on YouTube. So you can listen to them again. I know that'll be fascinating for many people to see me and Barb, a second time. One of these days you might see us with these masks on again. But maybe most people like us with the mask. At least me. I don't know.
Me too, probably.
So.
But we were lots of good seminars. Everybody's excited. We're going to have a great show. We'll have another supersized book club. I'll be announcing that soon. It's just rolling on, just like.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned earlier, we're gonna do the protection. We're gonna do the things we have to do that way. But it's not discouraging us from doing the things that make it the event that y'all want to come to. And we're going to try and do it even better than what we've done in the past. So I'm excited. Barbie's excited. The whole staff's excited. The people who are signing up are excited. Our exhibitors are excited. So
Janet is. She said, "We as vendors care missing our missing our awesome customers."
Well, and as I mentioned earlier, that there is something to say for that, because a lot of the vendors who come, they do build relationships with the people they see at the conventions, and being away from them for a year is a little tough for them, and that's hard. That's hard for everybody, and we want to get this back heading in the right direction, and I'm excited.
Chris Lawrence says, "Doug, keep the mask."
Thanks, Chris.
It's all about fun.
We are going to have lots of fun, I promise. So, it looks like we're out of questions. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in Perry. We'll probably see you all before then, maybe in December
18th.
or January 22nd, a little bit later. So take care. Have a great weekend.